Hello, India. How are we? Are we good? I didn't hear you. Are we good? Not loud enough. Are we good? Awesome. Before I get into that story, I just want to talk about a few things. We've all been through hard times in our life. We've all been through major adversity. We all know a friend or a family member, someone that's been through adversity, hard times. Has there anyone in the crowd here ever been depressed or know a friend that's been depressed? I think at some point, all of us, I've seen a lot of little hands like, yeah, I think my friend has, no. There's going to be at some point in life we all have, okay? So I want to give you tools, show you ways that you could overcome adversity. You can show your friends, family members, acquaintances, mothers, brothers, families, anyone, how to overcome adversity. Before I do that, I want to tell you a story. It's a story, it's a hard story. It's a hard story to tell. It's a story about suicide. I want to travel back to 2012. In 2012, I remember sitting on the lounge. I sat on the lounge at home anticipating a phone call, praying to God that this phone call is not going to come through. 11 p.m. at night, that phone call come through. It was my father. He said a few words to me. All he could say on the other end of the phone was they had found him. They found my brother. He had taken his life. And all I could remember in the background was my mother screaming hysterically. It remains vivid in my head to this day. It was only a week earlier that I'd seen my brother. And we sat down to have a beer because he had to tell me something very important. And at this time, I was very, very, very uneducated in relation to suicide, mental illness, overcoming adversity. We sat there, and he wears a cowboy hat, and he's a really cool guy. And we sat there, and I asked Dino, what's wrong? And he couldn't even give me eye contact. So I ask again, Dino, what's up? And first he turns around, he says he needs some money. So I thought, that's great, because I thought he was going to say something else. So I went and got him $1,000, brought it back, gave him $1,000, and there wasn't even a smile. There wasn't even an acknowledgement. And I thought that was odd, because if someone gave me $1,000, I'd be quite happy as well. So clearly, this was more about, it wasn't about money. Dino, what's wrong? He lifted his head. And he mumbled these words to me these days that I'm never going to forget. He says, bro, he always called me bro. He says, bro, I'm going to kill myself. Just think about that for a second. How would you respond if the person you idolized, you think is gold, they nicknamed him Gold, everyone loved him, he was good looking, he was attractive, the girls loved him. Why would this person want to take their life? I didn't understand. I didn't know how to respond. So my response was probably the biggest regret to this day. I responded by saying, why don't you just go see someone? Okay, he replies. So I thought, I'm a great brother. Problem solved. All good. Now let's fast forward to a week later. He actually rung me on the phone. Dino rang me. And I was in another conversation at the time that clearly I thought was more important. He rang me and I didn't answer that phone call. I went to ring him back 5 minutes later. And he left a message, a grueling message. The message goes like this. It says, bro, I'm so sorry. but I've got to go. I never heard or seen my brother again. From that moment, he took his life. And it was a moment that's changed myself. It's a moment that's changed our family, our friends. Life will never be the same. So what do you do? What do you do when you go through this major adversity? They say suicide affects 1 in 100 people. For every person that takes their life, they say it affects 100 people. Now, I beg to differ. I think it's a lot higher than that. So what do you do in this position? What I do, I realized I needed to take action. I need to find a goal. I need to find purpose. I need to find direction. Sitting back was not going to fix the problem. So I remember back in the 2013, I was at a fitness expo just like Connect, just like today. And I thought to myself, this event's 20 weeks away. I've just lost my brother to suicide. Life couldn't get any harder. But the family needs something. The family needs some positivity. It needs some motivation. It needs something. It needs something to keep us all going. So I decided, why don't I just do a bodybuilding show? And everyone's thinking, Leon, you're crazy. How can you focus on a bodybuilding show now when there's so much going on in your life? You're trying to manage the loss of a brother. And I'm just thinking to myself, all I need to do, I need something. The family needs something. Someone has to keep this family together. And I thought, this is the time in my life that I believe I had to stand up. I had to stand up. We needed something good to come out of this. So I hired the best coach I possibly could. The best coach I could find in the world. At that time, to me, was Dr. Lane Norton. Anyone that is in the fitness industry will know Dr. Lane Norton. Incredible guy that, to this day, a friend of mine that has probably saved my life. So I hired the guy. I didn't tell him what was going on. I didn't tell him any adversity that I was going through. I didn't want any pity. What I wanted to do was knuckle down and get the job done and get on stage and go and win for my brother. Because when you're going through hard times, when you're going through adversity, you need to keep your mind occupied. You need to find the things you're good at. You need to find goals. You need to be positive. You need to move forward. I didn't say not move on. We never move on from losing a loved one, but we have to at some point move forward. Was it easy? No, it was the hardest thing I'd ever had to do in my life. It was the most rewarding thing I've ever had to do in my life. So I've gone through this 20 weeks of preparation, grueling. Every morning, I didn't want to get up. I didn't even want to be in the gym. I didn't even want to see people. And we've all been like that. We've all felt like that. But I knew I had to. I knew that this is the point I have to stand up. It's not about how I feel. It's about the family. Someone's got to bring this family back together because the family was breaking apart, falling apart, the extended family. So I thought to myself, this is what I'm going to do. So I got through my 20 weeks. We get to the bodybuilding show. And I'm backstage. And I can't believe I've got this far. The hardest thing I've had to do in my life. And it was actually bizarrely the best conditioning I've ever been in my life because I was so focused. I was so driven. There was no option bar first place on this day. So I'm at this event. I'm backstage. And all of a sudden, my body just starts shut down. My body just starts to shut down. And I'm thinking, God, you can't shut me down now. You can't shut me down now. I've still got to get up on that stage. And I sat down. Till this day, I don't know what happened. I don't know where this electricity come from, this bolt of lightning, but all of a sudden, boom, I've just got up on stage. I felt amazing. I said a little prayer, and I wasn't even religious at this time, but I said a little prayer, and I got up on that stage, and I posed, and I presented myself like I've never done before. What that taught me, that moment right there defined me. That moment there defined who I am, what I am, what a human being is capable of during going through adversity. When you are that focused and that driven and you have that goal, it's amazing what a human being can do. So I won that show. And that to the day was probably the most grateful, the most appreciated moment of my life. To go through that major adversity and to come out the other end with a victory. How did I get there? What tools did I use to overcome that adversity? We've all heard the word gratitude, being grateful. It's true, it's a scientific fact that gratitude reciprocates. What I mean by that is what you put out to the universe is going to return. And that's a scientific fact. And it's also a scientific fact that if you are depressed, you are not grateful. If you are grateful, you are not depressed. So my mind, the whole time, all I kept thinking, I would pray and I would think of all the amazing things that I am grateful. Telling myself every single day, write down 5 things, all the little things that I'm forever grateful for. I had the appreciation that I even got to get up on stage. There was appreciation for even the event running. This sport, these events saved my life. It saved my life, and it saved thousands and thousands and thousands of lives upon that. Because now I've gone out on a limb now to help those that are suicidal, that do have mental illness, and that do suffer from anxiety, which is many, 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 many people to this day. I also worked on a thing called self-care. For me, self-care is the most important thing a human being can do. And I also say the most selfish thing a human being can do is not look after himself. Because if you are looking after yourself, you have the ability to then help another person. But if you are not looking after yourself, how can you help anyone else? So as a human being, I urge everyone, stand up as a person. Be accountable. Educate yourself. Look after yourself. Self-care. Self-care can be as simple as walking the dog down the park. It could be watching the sunrise, watching the sunset, watching the stars, walking on the beach, taking your partner for a coffee. Anything so simple like that, it doesn't cost you money to look after yourself. And by doing that over and over and over again, repetitious, just like training. You can't go into the gym for one day and expect to have an amazing physique. You can't do self-care for one day and expect to have your mindset in a great position. It's just not going to work. So many people will tell me, Leon, I've been working on myself, but I'm just not getting there. I'm just not feeling it. I'm like, bro, you need to do it over again, repetitious, every day, 10 minutes. That's all you need to do. And I can promise you, I'll put my hand on my heart, guys, and tell you, if you were to self-care every single day for 10 minutes, 3 months from now are going to be in a much, much, much better place. The other tool I use as well, and I love to talk about passion and energy. Passion and energy for me are just the key to life. If you want to achieve anything, it's hard to achieve anything in life if you don't have the passion, man. You've got to have the passion, and the passion comes from within. You need to do something because you want to do it and you want to be there. For me, passion is king. If you don't have that passion, try to perform up at 100%. You're just not going to do it. You're just not going to do it. Try and do a preparation. There's a bodybuilder show across the road. Try and diet for 20 weeks when your heart's not in it. You're definitely not going to get the result at the end of the day. I've mentioned also, again, back to gratitude reciprocating. I want to go back to that point because I want to drill it into everyone's head that you need to be grateful for everything you have in life. And if you're not grateful for everything you have in life, life is going to get hard. You'll always see people that we've all got a friend that always seems to do it tough. They're always saying, oh, you've always got the good luck, Leon. Things seem to go your way. Everything's great. That's because you only get back what you put out in the universe. Okay? So from that point there, if I fast forward 6 years, how's life changed? Well, life's changed from me going through adversity. I've done over 65 bodybuilding shows in my time. I've been competing for 18 years. I own my own gym. I'm a counsellor as well. I work with suicidal people. I run suicide groups to actually help those individuals that really, really, really need assistance. I've also written a book to talk about how to overcome this adversity. So going through adversity basically has defined who I am. So anyone that's going through any hard times, sometimes we just don't see light at the end of the tunnel. We just can't see it. All we see is a big black hole. And sometimes we wonder, how am I going to get out of this hole? I just can't get out of this hole. What I could tell you is there is people there to get you out of the hole. There is always someone there to provide you hope, give you faith, give you belief that you can get out of this black hole. Like I said, we don't see it at that time. But suicide is not the answer. At that time, you may think you're a burden. You're not a burden. No one is ever a burden, and no one's ever designed to take their life. Human beings are meant to keep each other together. So just to finish on this note, that was the moment that defined me. This picture here, that smile says it all. And to add to the resume, meeting Arnold Schwarzenegger, we all know Arnold Schwarzenegger, was probably one of the most proudest moments of my life, as you can probably see on the smile there. And all these things have been obtained because I didn't give up. When the going got tough, I didn't give up. I could have gave up. I used the support. I used my friends. I used my family. I kept my circle close, tight knit together. Because we never have to do this alone, guys. You never have to do life alone. There is always someone there to hold your hand and get you over the other line. Guys, just to finish on, just one more thing. Please, everyone, just close your eyes for a second and put your hand on your heart. Just close your eyes and put your hand on your heart, please. Just think of 5 things. Think of 5 things you are truly grateful for. And really feel it. And really feel it. And smile. And smile while you do it. Give yourself a bit of a smile while you do it. Because it's hard to be grateful and not smile at the same time. When you are truly grateful, you're going to smile. Every day, 10 minutes. Guys, and I can promise you, in 6 months from now, you'll be a way better person. And if you're a way better person, that means that your mindset's in a better position, better place. That means you can help the next person, which means the next person can help the next person. And then it creates a massive domino effect of happiness, joy. Guys, thank you very much.